Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another video. I thought I would make this one on how to get nice aesthetic notes and titles for a beginner. I will go over a few different examples that you can follow to achieve beautiful aesthetic notes. Aesthetic notes aren't necessarily essential, but for a lot of people they make studying a lot more fun. And also revision, because who wants to revise ugly notes anyway? Personally, I like to look at note taking like it's an art. Yeah, sounds kind of dumb, but still. So I'd like to go over a few ways to get aesthetic titles first, and then I'll give you some tips on how to make your overall notes look amazing. It's important to remember that the title you choose will really impact how your overall notes look. So pick a style that's appealing to you. Okay, let's get into it. The first way to get aesthetic titles is to write your title and then use two highlighters or like brush pens or markers, basically whatever you have lying around, to draw a line above and below your text. This is simple, but it looks great. Another way is to write your title in all lowercase, and then again grab your highlighter or brush pen and run the highlighter through the whole word, just like this. You can leave it like this and it looks great, but I personally like drawing an arrow because I think it looks kind of cool. So draw a point at the front and then like the end. The third way to get aesthetic titles is just to write your title in all capitals and then use a highlighter or felt tip pen to draw a line on either side of it, just like this. You can use any color you like. Lastly, you can write your title with your highlighter or felt tip pen. This doesn't have to be super neat, so don't worry if it's a bit messy. Then you can grab your black pen and outline the title just like this. It looks better if you don't outline the title with your black pen super accurately, but actually leave some of the highlighter out, or make the black pen outline a bit bigger than the highlighter. It just gives it a bit of an offset look. I personally think this looks really aesthetic and it's easy to achieve, so double points. Variations or combinations of any of these techniques work as well, so feel free to experiment a bit when you have time. Here are a couple of variations that I've just written down for you so you can have an idea. Moving on from titles to actual note taking, here are some things that help make your notes look really aesthetic or just better in general. Using a black pen. Okay, this is so easy, but so many people don't. When I was in primary school, I used any color pen that was available, like literally any color. And while that kind of worked, my notes always looked awful, as I'm sure you can imagine, and I actually never studied them at all. Using only a black pen for the body of your text helps your notes to look uniform, neater, and a whole lot more pleasing to the eye. This of course does not apply to diagrams and headings. In fact, I love changing up diagrams by using lots of different colors. It makes them stand out in your work and it helps to add to the whole aesthetic look. Secondly, just use dot points. Having a system of dot points really helps with keeping your notes organized, and it's a lot easier to just spot what you mean instead of writing this means, and a whole bunch more of therefores, ands, and etc. For me, a system that I found works is I use the first text, so the main point with a dash. I do any further explanation with a dot underneath that, indented, even further information with an arrow, and then for the rare occasion where I have even further information, I'll just use a squiggly line. Use a system that works for you, but using dot points and having a system will really tidy up your notes. This is a huge one. Leave enough space around diagrams and text boxes. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Leave enough space around diagrams and text boxes. A secret to aesthetic notes is really just space. Get it ingrained into your head. Space, lots of space everywhere. If your handwriting is flawless, but everything is super crowded on your page of notes, it will not look nice. Guaranteed. You can try it out if you feel like wasting your time. Always err on the side of more space is a rule I like to follow. This is also great for revision, just in case you ever need to write down a thing or two. Use a margin. If your notebook or writing paper doesn't already have a margin, you can easily draw one in. This does not take long and it comes in super handy. Like, I wouldn't say this is 100% necessary. If you don't like margins and it doesn't work for you, then go ahead and don't use one. But for me, it really helps. Margins can be used for subheadings, summaries, extra notes, or space to add things to revision. Something to keep in mind is that if you want to use the margin for summaries, I wouldn't suggest putting your subheadings in there as well. Okay, so on top of its usefulness, I think margins make notes look great. But again, that's my personal opinion. Don't be afraid to use whiteout. Everyone is going to make a mistake in their notes here and there. I do it literally all the time, and whiteout is a lifesaver. While some mistakes with grammar, punctuation, and spelling aren't really that important, so you should just leave them be, others are. For example, if you're writing a term for biology that you will need to be able to actually spell for the exam, revising an incorrect spelling will not help your cause. I've seen that a lot of people, when they make a mistake, will either scrap their whole nice page of notes or just squiggle the mistake out. I used to do this, and it does not make your notes look nice. Using whiteout is okay, and I use it all the time for my notes to make them neater. You could even go the further step to go over your notes after a class or lecture and use whiteout to neaten any parts that need it. Those are some of my tips to writing aesthetic notes and titles for beginners. I would love to see your notes, so feel free to DM me on Instagram with a picture or just tag me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and that you'll be able to use it to apply to your own notes to make them more aesthetic. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos on taking aesthetic notes, and I will see you in the next video.